everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. Today I am going to be showing you how to work in Bruges Lace. Bruges Lace is a specific type of crochet technique. This is a little swatch that I've made in Bruges Lace, and you can see how there are columns that travel in a zigzag. This is very typical of Bruges Lace. You work in short rows going back and forth to make these columns, and then when you get to the end of a column you turn it to come back this way. So I'm going to show you how this is done. I will very soon have a new free crochet pattern out using this technique, and when that's finished you'll be able to find it on my website bananamoonstudio.com, and there will be a link in the description. I'd like to thank Trendsetter Yarns for providing the recycled linen yarn for this tutorial, as well as for the free pattern. And I will go ahead and turn the camera around and show you how this is done. When you begin, you go ahead and start with a slip knot as usual. And you're going to start by chaining 8. You'll skip the first 5 chains and stitch into the last 3. There we go. So this is the first row. It's very small, but that's a complete row. So it has this chain loop to the side and 3 double crochet stitches. Now I will chain 5. And then I'm going to turn and double crochet in each of the stitches from the first row. So now my piece looks like this. I have a chain loop sticking out on both sides and the start of my first column. You can see here in my swatch how my column is going up this way, and this is going to fit in right there. Okay, so several more times then I'm going to chain 5 and double crochet in the 3 stitches. Again, I'll chain 5, turn, and double crochet in these 3 stitches. Alright, I'm going to do that a few more times. I'm going to go ahead and just speed up the video and so that we can move on to where I'll show you how to do the turning. Okay, so I've worked a little ways here. Now I'm going to show you how to do the turning. This begins with a chain 2. Now that I'm ready to turn, I'm not going to chain 5, I'm going to chain 2, and then on this loop down below, I'm going to go into the into the 3rd chain, slip stitch, and then chain 2. Now this looks a lot like the chain 5 that I've been doing, but this slip stitch is taking the place of my 3rd chain. Okay, so I chain 2, slip stitch in the loop below, chain 2, and then I'll turn and do my 3 double crochet stitches as usual. And I'll chain 5. This is on the outside of the turn, so it's not going to join in the middle. So I'll chain 5 and turn and do my 3 stitches. And then I will chain 2. This is inside the turn, so I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to join in the same place I did last time. So here's the last chain loop I did. This is the first one that I joined into. I'm going to put my hook right back in that same chain and slip stitch in the same spot, and then chain 2 and turn and work my 3 double crochet stitches. All right, now I continue with my chain 5. My chain 5, and then I will turn. Oops, need to go through that loop. Okay, my 3 stitches. And again, this is going to be the last time that I do this for this turning. But once again, I will chain 2, go back into the same chain and slip stitch, chain 2, turn, and make my 3 stitches. Okay, so I've completed the turning, and what you'll see here is the first chain loop that I did. The second one is here, the third one is here, and the fourth one is here. So every time you do a turning, you'll have 4 chain loops connected like the spokes of a wheel in the middle. And that's what allows you to make the turn at the top of your column. Okay, and so from here now, I'm done with the turning, but I'm still on the outside of my turn, so I'll chain 5, do my yarn over and turn, and do my 3 stitches. Okay, now I'm finished with the turning, but let's take a look at this swatch again. Once the turn is finished here, you still want to be connecting. So as you come down and make this column, you want to connect it to the first column. So as you're working, you're going to be connecting your chain loops to the column that you made first. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing now. So I will chain 2, and now instead of slip stitching here, I'm going to come to the next free chain loop, and I will slip stitch in the third chain of this chain loop, and then chain 2, and I'll do my yarn over and turn. You don't just have to yarn over before you do the turn. I like to do it that way, but you can turn and then yarn over. However, I suggest waiting to turn until after you've completed the chain loop that you're making. So for instance, instead of turning here and then chaining 5, which you can do that, but I suggest chaining 5 first and then turning. And I'll explain the reason for that here in just a minute. So when you're doing this portion where you chain 2 and slip stitch over here and then chain 2, you really have to do this before you turn. And so I suggest doing all of your chain loops before you turn, just to be consistent. Okay, so here is my chain loop, and it's kind of turned backwards. So I'm trying to turn it around so I can see it. There we go. Okay, so here's my third chain. And I'll do my slip stitch and chain 2, and then I turn and do my 3 stitches. Okay, so I have joined all of the chain loops together that I had, and so at this point what's going to happen is I'm going to do the next turn. Let's see if I can line these up the same. So looking at this swatch that I've completed, I'm not making my columns as long for this demonstration, just so there's less dead time. But you can see that I started here and I've made my turn and come this way. And on my swatch, I'm at this point right here. And so my very next chain loop that I'm going to make over here is going to start turning again. It's going to join in here. So once you've connected your all the chain loops on your first column with your second column, then you're ready to begin your turn. You'll notice that on these, there's only one free chain loop at the top. So once you've made your second column and you've joined to your very last chain loop from the first column, then you're ready to start your turn, which once I'm at this point, I've already made this chain loop. So I'm ready to make this one that's going to join to it. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit of this turning, but from this point on, it is pretty much the same thing. And you're going to just keep doing the columns and the turning, and then that's how you make Bruges lace. So now when I chain 5, I'm making this chain loop that's going to stick up and not be joined to anything. And I turn and do my 3 stitches. And at this point, I'm just going to continue doing my turn until I have 4 chain loops that are all connected together. So I hope that this has been helpful to you if you're wanting to work on a project made in Bruges Lace. I have one pattern available from Interweave called Scamp Bandana that is a small Bruges Lace project. That's a paid pattern, but you can download it from Interweave. I want to say it's interweave.store.com, or maybe it's interweavestore.com. I think that's probably it. Anyhow, you can get that pattern from them, or I will very soon have a free lace wrap pattern on my website that is going to be made in this yarn, in Bruges Lace, and that will be available as a free crochet pattern on my blog very soon. So you can look for the link in the description, or just go visit my website, which is bananamoonstudio.com. And remember to check the description box to find a link to subscribe to my newsletter. That's a twice monthly newsletter. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.